Hi, everyone. As you likely all know, I'm Adam Fritz. I'm the CEO of Pozotron, and Ryan Hicks is our Director of Outreach. We're very excited to be showing you some information on our pickup recording tool, which is the newest feature we've released inside of Pozotron, and really the next step in our goal to have a feature to make audiobook and scripted audio production easier at every step of your production process. This is a feature that's been in planning certainly since the early stages of when I joined the company. I went through some strategic planning with Ryan and Jake and the dev team. Looking at most of our tools were directed at the QC side of things. And now we built a lot of pre-production tools. And now we're building a bunch of tools directed at kind of the later stages of production, be it pickup recording or audio analysis tool, which we're going to be releasing in the coming weeks, or maybe coming months, I guess, depending on how alpha testing goes. But really the goal is to have Pozotron offer a feature for every step of the production process to make you and your collaborators more efficient, more accurate, and because of those two things, more profitable. So give you a quick presentation here. So in terms of the sequence, you're going to be uploading your script, uploading your audio, and proofing your audio just like you normally would inside of Pozotron. Then you're going to open up that pickup recording tool tab, and we'll give you a bit of a live demo right after this presentation. So really the goal is that you're not going to be doing anything different inside of Pozotron other than adding a step at the end to record your pickups inside of Pozotron. So there's a couple things to note here. We'll give a quick live demo, but let me make my screen a little bit bigger here. Hopefully everyone can see. So in terms of narration context, so you can see that narration context tab there. If you click that where it says current sentence, and I'll show you this live as well, that does allow you to change the narration context to show just a couple words, the entire sentence, or prior sentences for each individual pickup as you record it. And the goal there is if you have one pickup, you want to record just a couple words, one pickup, you want to record a couple sentences for flow, it allows that flexibility there to make the best pickup recording you can. In terms of the playback tool, once you've actually, to listen to your original audio, you can click that play button there on the left, which is right here, and it will open up a waveform. That waveform is scrubbable as well, so you'll be able to go back and forth, but really gives you that visual look at your original audio file. We'll be showing you some kind of what the next stages of this tool is, but we will also be building in a waveform view for the recorded pickup as well. So you can do a waveform comparison above and below or side by side to compare your original audio with your pickup audio. We'll show you how the record button works. There's a click and hold method, or just a click to start, click to stop method, as well as the playback button. So we'll give a quick demo here. So as you can see, I've got 4 chapters here in our Pozotron webinar September 27th project. And we've got 3, 1, 2, and 3 pickups. So what I'm going to do here is just click on pickup recording. In a future release, you will actually see, once you've done all of your proofing for a chapter and created at least a single pickup, a little button here will appear to actually just go straight into pickup recording for that chapter. We'll also be adding a couple other links on things like the pickup packet, so your narrator can click directly through to that pickup recording tool from the pickup. So here we are. We've got 3 pickups in this first chapter. A couple things to notice. You see where it says chapter or section and book at the top? This is where you can change the timestamp. So if I click here, this goes from 2956 to 2956, but then later ones in separate chapters, this shows 934.98. But if I click here, this changed the timestamps for the first in chapter 2 to 621. So that changes the timestamps for start of chapter to the start of the book. So second, you can minimize individual chapters here and just do chapter by chapter pickups. When I showed narration context, so you can see current sentence, this is going to show the entire sentence around the pickup. Here, if I want to go several words, it'll just show the words around that time. So very simple. You can also show prior sentences. So you can record the first pickup, for example, with the entire sentence, the next one just with a few around that time. So very, very easy to do. Finally, we are creating a sort feature where you are able to sort if you tag anyone. So if I go into proofing quickly and tag at editing, just like you can in the pickup packet, where it will sort it by tag, in the proofing or in the pickup recording tool, you will also be able to sort just by that tag as well. We are building a tool right now called the project management feature that's going to be able to allow you to tag individual people. So instead of tagging at editing, if Ryan is my editor, I could just tag at Ryan H and create notifications directly for each individual person in the project, or tagging multiple narrators by name as well in a multi-narrator situation. That feature is not ready, but I think that's going to be a really powerful way to increase communication between your team members. So very simple. Now we've got this first pickup. To listen to the pickup, the original audio file, you're going to click the play button.
Next, what happens when you add a word to the narration that isn't in the script?
So you've got the scrubbable playback here as well with the waveform. In a future release, once we record the audio, I'm going to record the pickup audio here, which obviously it's in Ryan's voice, so it's not going to match perfectly because he has a much better narrator voice than I do. There's two ways you can do it. You can single click on this microphone button to start recording and single click to stop. Or what I prefer is I'm actually going to click and hold here. Next, what happens when you add a word to the narration that isn't in the script? As soon as that's done, you're going to see this blue button here to play the pickup recording. Next, what happens when you add a word to the narration that isn't in the script? So then what you can do, once you've actually gone through, you're going to see here, it's not actually approved. So what you can do is very simply share this project with someone else. They can come in, listen to your pickups and approve them. If you're just an individual narrator doing your own pickups, just click on approve and it will go green. Now I'll do a second recording here. In this case, Pozotron will give you an annotation saying that there's a word missing from the narration. In the event that you have an external party, a third party who is going to be doing those approvals, what you can do, they can actually request changes. Make a comment, and then that person is going to be able to, the actual narrator is going to be able to come in and make changes based on that feedback. To re-record, you're just going to click on the green button here. In this case, Pozotron will give you an annotation saying that there's a word missing from the narration. And then it can be approved. And in this case, Pozotron will give you an annotation saying that there's a word missing from the narration.
Whoa, that's also a little loud. We're very aware that we're not sure where the things are going on the screen yet. So if you're looking at this saying it's not obvious where I should play back, it's not obvious where I should record, it's not obvious how to play back what I recorded, that's the UI is really important because we want to make sure that it fits obviously with what you want to do. So that's some of the early feedback we'd like to get is what kind of placement, what kind of player, what kind of record buttons that you all want.
Yeah, and the next step is once you've got your waveform here.
In this,
we will be building a second waveform for you. So this is the original audio file. We will be building a second waveform player for visual comparison between the original audio and the recorded pickup as well. And we're playing right now with side by side or top bottom views to see what's going to be the most effective. We're leaning towards the upper and lower view just because it allows you to scrub along at the same time. Good question from Becky Parker Geist. Is the replace sentence inserted into the audio? And if so, what if the timing is different and time around it needs to be adjusted? So Becky, it is not automatically edited into the audio. We'd like to get to the point where that is a possibility, but that is not currently what this tool does. So once you've gone through, let me just go through and recorded the first chapter here. So there's a couple things you can do. You can go to download audio here, and you can download either all recorded pickups or just the pickups that have actually been approved here. So you can see if I record this third one. From my small medical shelf, I took down the medical directory and turned up the name. So this has been recorded and not approved. So if I download audio for approved pickups, it will download the audio files for 2 individual pickup files. And of course, now I need to switch sharing my screen in a different way. If you download just all recorded pickups, it'll download all 3 that I've recorded, even though only 2 of them have been actually approved.
So that was kind of the long answer, Becky. Like That is absolutely what we're planning on doing later, especially once we get those comparative waves going. You'll be able to see the best place to slot that in there. It's going to be really cool. That's definitely down the road, though.
Correct. Is there a place in settings to change microphone input from Kira Taylor? Not currently yet, but you can just allow or deny microphone access here. And then your individual microphone setting should be set by your browser, I believe. Correct, right?
System preferences.
System preferences. Okay.
Yep. And the pickups can be in one long file or individually, Audrey.
And so when you do that, you can go into download audio, and you can see here where it says separate files, you can download as a single audio file as well. Really, at this point, we've got the majority of the technical items figured out. We do need to change a little bit of the technical issues around some of the exported audio. Right now, what we're really focusing on to start with is getting the workflow right, especially as it pertains to individual workflow for a single person versus workflow for multiple people collaborating on a project. This is in beta, so before it gets released for live production use, we will be ensuring that everything on the technical side is completely sorted out. And this is why we put it out in beta, is we're looking for as much feedback as possible from our actual users. If you are going to play around with this, there is absolutely no charge for using the pickup recording tool. If you do want some free credits to try out some of these features, just send us an email to hello@pozotron.com and we'll throw some free credits in your account to let you do some playing around with this tool. A couple other things we will be building out. Let me just go back into our presentation here and make sure I didn't miss anything. So you can export it as individual WAV files as a single MP3, and you can also pair that with DAW marker export. We are going to be building in basically a combined export that will download all of your pickups as well as your DAW marker files. So that'll be one click of a button and it'll download into a single zip file all of your pickup audio. So whether you want those as single files or one combined audio file, as well as the DAW markers based on whatever DAW you're using. So really the goal is to be able to make it as simple as possible, and even, quite frankly, saving you from having to export the pickup audio and the DAW marker separately. That's saving you a couple minutes of time. Ryan, I'll let you answer this one from James Romick. What about splicing in room tone, as some pubs want 3 seconds of room tone in between pickups in one long file?
That is our goal. Currently, they are separated by 3 seconds. I don't know if it's room tone or just silence. Do you know, Adam?
I believe it is just silence, but
so the spacing is correct. We'll figure out the room tone thing because that's something we're working on analyzing anyway. And it will be one long wave file. So what you're asking is our goal.
Perfect. Okay. Now, does anyone have any questions before we get into kind of what V1.1 is going to look like and version 2 of this tool? I mean, to give you all an idea, this is the first step towards the ability to be able to do long form recording in Pozotron. So really the goal would be get the recording for short audio working, and then the goal would be to record long form as well. And then once you have that ability to record long form, you have the ability to incorporate things like punch. Okay, let's get to what the next steps for this tool. So custom file naming conventions. We know that some publishers will have a certain way they need those pickup files named, whether that's individually for slate numbers. Currently, they're just numbered files, and we are changing that to be able to add different naming conventions. Another thing that's been requested so far is an ability to actually filter this, so you're only going to show only show the pickups that have been approved, or only show the pickups that have been recorded but not yet approved, or only show the pickups that haven't even been touched yet, haven't been recorded. So that's going to be one of the next features that we're building. Waveform comparison view. So that is something I mentioned, and we will be showing some mock-ups in the focus groups that we will be doing and talking about in a second, and getting people's feedback on how people would like to see that waveform comparison. This is exactly what we did for the pronunciation guide back when we did a horizontal and vertical view. We took votes in these focus groups, and that helped inform what the UI looked like. Another tool is, once you've actually got your comments here, currently you can only add one comment per pickup, but we are going to be able to build in kind of more of a threaded comment view. And this is also tying into our project management tool, where the idea is, even on an individual annotation or a pickup inside the proofing tool, you can actually tag someone and make a comment and communicate back and forth that way. So that is a ways away, but this is going to be kind of the first step towards that in many different things inside of Pozotron, being able to comment and individually tag people in more of a threaded view. Links from the proofing page and the pickup packet. So you'll be able to access this pickup recording tool not only from this top bar, but the goal is you're going to be able to access it from here. So open proofing will go to about halfway, and then there will be an open pickup record pickups button here as well. The other idea that we've had is being able to link to it from the online pickup packet. So you would have an actual record pickup button icon here. So if you're the project owner and you share it with a narrator, your narrator would actually be able to click here and go straight into that pickup recording tool from the pickup packet tab.
We have had a couple questions about that as far as what narrators have access to. And again, that's almost entirely up to what everyone wants, how it links, what sort of permissions are based on what. We're going to develop it essentially on whatever works the best for the most people. And can we edit the comments later? I'm
not currently, but that is one of the, oh, you can. Well, there you go. I didn't think it looked like it's been done already. So when we first launched it, so yes, you can. All you have to do is just click on there, which we should probably make a little bit more clear. Ryan, if you can make a note on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the big one though. Proofing your pickups. The next really version 2 of this tool is once you've actually recorded your pickup is be able to very quickly put that through our proofing algorithm and actually proof it in short form compared, your new audio compared to the text. And so that would be a way where you could just choose individual pickups or proof all of your pickups that you've recorded all at once. And so that would be a very simple, powerful way to proof those pickups and make sure that they're going to match your script. So finally, we will be having focus groups. We'll be reaching out later this week or early next week to start scheduling those. We've got, I want to say, close to 10 people who have volunteered already. We will be reimbursing people with some free credits inside of Pozotron for their participation. But really the goal here is hopefully you will have played around with the tool and had some feedback beforehand. But we'll also be throwing some ideas at people in terms of other ideas that we've already had from people who have tried it out, and then just building off of those to get, to understand what phase 2 and phase 3 of this tool would look like. Becky, is there a limit on how much text can go into a pickup and be recorded? So no. So for example, here, let me go in and create inside of Sherlock Holmes here. So I just created a new pickup. So that's a whole chapter for a whole paragraph, for example. I'm going to go into pickup recording. I could go record this entire thing. I don't think any of you want to hear me record this entire thing currently, because as I said, I'm not a professional narrator, but no, there is no limit.
That might be something else that we can have Kathy try and break. Just leave the recording on, Kathy. See how long it goes before it melts your computer.
Okay, I guess last call for questions before we close off today's webinar.
Yeah, this one was pretty straightforward. It's definitely a stepping stone. And the more that we hear back, the more we can tell you. So changing the microphone we record in, I've played around with that in system preferences. And so basically what we want to do is duplicate your system preferences options inside of Pozotron, the same way that other programs have done it. So Susanna, yes, that is the goal. Right now it's just in the computer setting, but we just want to bring that into the software as soon as we can.
And in terms of next steps for Pozotron, you'll see in some order beta release of the audio analysis tool, which will allow you to submit your mastered audio files for check against your distributor specs, which we're very excited about. That will be released relatively soon. Also, noise detection is coming down the pipe as well, along with language support for a few other languages that we're very excited about. We will have another webinar in probably 2 weeks. We're just finishing what we call Bug Week, which isn't necessarily just for bugs, but more we do dozens of small issues and improvements that we add throughout a week or 2 period. So you'll see in our feature release log that you can see on our website, a huge number of new developments coming out in the next little while. So please stay tuned to your email, because we'll send you an email with all of those new releases. And thank you very much for using Pozotron.